I've been babysitting since I was 16. I'm 22 now and I thought I'd seen everything. Kids throwing tantrums, parents who come home drunk, weird family dynamics, whatever. But this one job I took last month, Jesus Christ, I still can't sleep properly. So I get this call from this woman, Vera Hutchins. She sounds normal enough on the phone, asks if I can watch her 2 kids for the evening. 8 and 10 years old, she says. Easy money, right? The address she gives me is in this decent neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but not sketchy either. When I get there, the house looks totally normal. White picket fence, little garden gnomes, the whole suburban thing. But when Vera opens the door, man, she looks like she hasn't slept in weeks. Her husband Marcus is standing behind her, and they both just stare at me for like 10 seconds before letting me in. They start rattling off instructions, but nothing makes sense. Vera says, "Don't let them eat after 7. Then Marcus jumps in with, "Actually, they need snacks every hour or they get cranky." Then she's like, "Keep them upstairs after 8. And he's shaking his head saying, No, they watch TV downstairs until 9. I'm standing there thinking, what the fuck? These people can't get their story straight about their own kids. The children, Penny and Liam, are sitting on the couch just staring. Not at the TV, not at anything really. They won't look at me when I say hi. Penny has these huge dark circles under her eyes, and Liam keeps picking at his fingernails until they bleed. The parents grab their coats and rush out before I can ask any more questions. Vera yells something about being back by 11, but the door slams before I catch all of it. So I'm alone with these weird kids who barely speak. I figure I'll make them some dinner, maybe mac and cheese or something simple. But when I open the kitchen cabinets, holy shit, there are pill bottles everywhere, hidden behind the cereal boxes, stuffed in the back of the spice rack. Xanax, Risperdal, some bottles with labels I can't even pronounce. I'm thinking, okay, maybe one of the parents has anxiety or something. But there are like 20 different bottles. Some of them don't even have names on the labels. That's when Penny tugs on my shirt. She whispers, "We're not supposed to tell anyone about Daddy's medicine." Her voice is so quiet I have to lean down to hear her. I ask her what she means, but she just shakes her head and walks away. While I'm cooking, I notice both kids have these bruises on their arms. When I ask Penny about hers, she says she fell down the stairs. Liam says the same thing about his black eye. Same exact words, like they practiced it. Around 8 o'clock, I hear this scraping noise coming from somewhere below us, like furniture being dragged across a concrete floor. The kids immediately tense up. "What's that noise?" I ask. Liam's eyes get wide. "Don't go down there," he whispers. "That's where the bad children go." I notice the basement door has like 5 different locks on it, all installed from the outside. There are scratch marks around the door frame, deep gouges in the wood like someone was trying to claw their way out. The scraping gets louder. Then I swear I hear crying, muffled like someone has their mouth covered. I try to call the parents, but my phone screen is cracked in a way I don't remember. When I try the house phone, there's no dial tone. The cord has been cut. That's when I hear the car in the driveway. It's only 9:30, but the parents are back. When they walk in, they're different, calm, almost smiling. Marcus asks how the evening went, and Vera offers me tea like nothing weird happened. But I can still hear that crying from the basement. I grabbed my stuff and left without taking the money. I drove straight home and locked every door in my apartment. I called the police the next day, but when they went to check, the house was completely cleaned out. No furniture, no family, nothing. The neighbors said they'd packed up and left in the middle of the night. The cops found scratch marks on the basement walls and opened a missing children investigation, but the Hutchins family had vanished without a trace. I'm 19, college sophomore, broke as hell. My roommate Paisley found this babysitting gig on some app, $50 an hour for one kid. That should have been my first red flag, but I needed the money bad. Had to pay for textbooks, and my car was making this weird grinding noise. The family lived in Maple Ridge. You know, those huge houses with the fancy mailboxes. The Kendricks seemed normal enough. Mr. Kendrick wore this perfectly ironed polo shirt, and Mrs. Kendrick kept adjusting her pearl necklace while she talked. They had this whole list of rules, though, like typed out and laminated. Zara goes to bed at exactly 8:30, Mrs. Kendrick said, tapping the paper. Don't go in the basement, or the master bedroom, or the office upstairs. She paused. Actually, just stick to the living room and Zara's room. Mr. Kendrick kept checking his watch. We'll be back by midnight. Your phone might not work great here. Something about the cell towers. He shrugged like it was no big deal. 8-year-old Zara was quiet. Really quiet. She ate her mac and cheese without saying a word while I scrolled through Netflix. When bedtime came, she brushed her teeth and got into her pajamas like a robot. That's when I saw it. This tiny black dot in the corner of her ceiling. At first I thought it was a smoke detector, but it was pointed down at her bed. I moved closer and realized what I was looking at. A camera. Zara, I said, trying to keep my voice normal. What's that thing up there? She looked up and shrugged. Mommy and Daddy watch everything. They told me that. My hands started shaking. I started looking around the room more carefully. Another camera by the window, one hidden in her bookshelf. I walked into the hallway and, Jesus, there were more, tiny ones everywhere. I went downstairs to grab my purse and leave. That's when I noticed cameras in the kitchen, the living room. I even checked the bathroom. Yep, there too. The front door wouldn't open. I pulled and twisted the handle, but nothing. It was like it was locked from the outside somehow. I tried the back door. Same thing. I ran back upstairs to Zara. Honey, how do I open the doors? She was sitting on her bed, braiding her hair. You can't. Not until Mommy and Daddy come home. What happened to the other babysitters? Zara stopped braiding. They found the cameras too. Sarah found them first, then Emma, then that girl with the red hair. What was her name? She tilted her head. Oh yeah, Chloe. Where are they now? Daddy said Sarah had an accident driving home. Emma moved away really fast. And Chloe? She went quiet. I looked out the window and nearly threw up. The Kendricks' black SUV was parked across the street. Just sitting there. I could see two shapes inside, watching the house. My phone had no bars, of course. Are you going to tell on Mommy and Daddy? Zara asked. She was staring at me with these big, empty eyes. The others said they were going to tell. I spent the next 3 hours sitting in that living room, watching those cameras watch me. Every few minutes I'd check the window. The car never moved. At exactly midnight, I heard the front door open. How did everything go? Mrs. Kendrick asked, like nothing was wrong. I grabbed my purse and pushed past them. The door was unlocked now. I ran to my car and drove home doing 90 the whole way. I never got paid. And about a week later, I saw a new babysitting ad online. Same address, same $50 an hour. I drive a different route to campus now, just in case. I was babysitting for the Hendersons. 2 kids, Mila, who was 7, and little Jasper, who was 5. Nice kids, never gave me trouble. The parents were going to some work party and said they'd be back around midnight. Anyway, I was making the kids mac and cheese when Mila goes, "Kendra, look! Our friend is waving." She pointed out the kitchen window toward the house across the street. I looked, but didn't see anyone. Just this big picture window with lights on inside. What friend, honey? The nice man. He waves at us every night when we eat dinner. Kids say weird stuff all the time, so I just told her to finish eating. Later, when I was getting Jasper ready for bed, he mentioned the friend too. Said the man sometimes left presents in their backyard. What kind of presents? Pictures and drawings. He draws us playing and stuff. Mommy always throws them away though. That was concerning. But kids have wild imaginations, right? Around 9, I was cleaning up when I saw him. This guy standing at that window across the street just staring. Right at me. Tall, thin, wearing a dark jacket. He didn't move or wave, just watched. I stepped away and waited before looking again. He was gone. But then later, I saw him at a different window on the side of his house, still staring directly at our house. I closed all the curtains downstairs. The kids were asleep, so I decided to check the backyard. Near the back fence, I found a plastic bag with stuff inside. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Pencil drawings of Mila and Jasper playing in their yard. Really detailed ones from different angles. There were also actual photographs of the kids riding bikes, playing with their dog, even one through the kitchen window. But the worst part was this notebook. Pages of handwritten notes about the family's routine. What time parents left for work, when kids got home, what they ate for dinner. It went back months. I tried calling the parents, but no answer. Then the landline went completely dead. That's when the lights started. The house across the street. All the lights began turning on and off in this pattern. Living room, kitchen, upstairs, over and over. Like he was signaling. I ran upstairs and found Mila sitting up in bed looking out her window. "He's talking to us," she whispered excitedly. "He wants to come play now." "What do you mean?" "We always leave the back door unlocked for him. Mommy and Daddy don't know. It's our special secret." I felt sick. I checked the sliding door, and it was unlocked. The deadbolt had been turned back. I locked everything, grabbed both kids, and we hid in the upstairs bathroom. The lights kept flashing until around 11:30, then everything went dark. The parents came home at midnight and found us huddled together. When I explained, they looked at me like I was crazy. They said the house across the street had been empty for 2 years, but I know what I saw. And when we checked the backyard the next morning, all the drawings and photos were gone. The Hendersons never called me again.